Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis with a wine gum in my mouth. Welcome back to the live stream watch along. This is my special for Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. As you know, I've done 4 already this evening. Now I'm doing the 5th one, which is part 5 of Planet of the Spiders. So let's get on with it. No mucking about, because the time is now fast approaching 2 o'clock in the morning. I've never been this late doing these videos, but these live streams, but I'm going to do it in this case as it's a special day. Right, okay then, here we go. Part 5 of Planet of the Spiders. What I do is I do a talk through as so to describe what's going on. As you know, I will not have the sound up during the actual episode because the copyright and all that, but I'll do my best to explain it to you. So here we go, episode 5 of Planet of the Spiders. As you can see here, the music in the background, Doctor Who's famous tune, created by Ron Grainer back in the 1960s. Delia Derbyshire's workshop, BBC workshop, should I say. So here we go then, turning it down. So let's get on with it. Here we go. The Doctor's fighting in the dome. He's just been arrested. He's just saying this is becoming monotonous. So anyway, in other words, everywhere he turns there's a guard. So we see Elizabeth in the cocoon as a prisoner, along with Arik and Tua's father. And then Sarah thinks the Doctor has come to save her, and also the father. But unfortunately, he points to the guards behind him, and he's also a prisoner. So anyway, we cut to that was a cliffhanger, by the way. We cut to Lupton and the Queen Spider, and Lupton is trying to basically talk his way out of it. But then the spider who's with him has turned against him and says, I have loyalty to the 8 legs, not the 2 legs. So it turns out treachery is my middle name. So anyway, Lupton becomes their prisoner now. He's no longer got any bargaining chips. He's now back in the middle of what looks to be like a courtroom. But anyway, oh, by the way, these spiders are worked by sticks and strings. I know they don't look, to me, they don't look genuine, you know, they don't look frightening, they look like models. They don't move, they just wobble to get the impression they're moving, but they're not. But this one, they've got to focus on. I think they should have gone the angle a little bit away from it, in my opinion. But never mind, because it spoils the effect, doesn't it? You can tell they're not real, but that's a good effect when you see them all in their sort of seating, like Parliament, you know. So we now see Lupton starting to sweat because he now knows he's in trouble. Doctor is now reminiscing about a man that helped him to learn about escapology when he met him during his travels in time and space. And that man was Harry Houdini. So this is how he gets out of the cocoon. He slides out of it. Just as easy as that. He just contracts his muscles, he says, and then he just slides. So it takes a lot of concentration. Tua's father is very, very much the optimist. He said, there's no hope. He says, as much as I admire your optimism for doom and gloom, I would like you to shut up. I suppose that's a good way of putting it. So I can concentrate, he says. Just turn that over a little bit so you can see completely. That's it. That's better. As I said, this is 2 o'clock in the morning. I've never been this late doing a live stream, but As I said, as it's my as it's a special day, and it's Doctor Who's 60th birthday, I'll make an exception. Right, the guards come into the actual room. They're going to pull a knife out. Sarah thinks they're going to stab her, but they're not. They've cut the cocoon open to free her. So she's out, and then she goes on her feet, and then she starts falling everywhere. And she says, "What's the matter?" The guard says, "What's the matter?" And she says, "Oh, pins and needles." Enough. Follow me. So there's a lot of comedic areas that they go into here. Right, we're back at the village. We've got Tua and Arak preparing to bring all the villagers together to make an attack on the spider's dome. The mother is pleading, "Don't go. I've lost my husband. I don't want to lose my sons already." You know, giving the old speech, but it doesn't do any good. They have protection now, given by the doctor. These stones that can absorb any energies because they have unusual properties, believe it or not. So anyway, here we go. Arak is assuring his mother that they will be all right. Right, I think they're about to, yes, they put the headbands on. Put the headbands on the doctor gave us, and the stones in the middle of the forehead. So it's onwards and upwards, as they say. Right, so the doctor now, we're back at the doctor in his cocoon, and now he's starting to slide out as he tells the story of Houdini. John Pertwee always hated this close-up shot. He hated because he called it the nostril shot. He hated it because it looks like two holes or a tunnel. And it wasn't. I can well believe why he wouldn't want that. Nobody wants to see somebody up somebody's nostril, do they? With a close up. It's like those horrible angles you get in snooker where they got a camera right in the corner and the camera's right there, and suddenly bang. It makes you feel like going back a bit. But anyway, here we go. Have you noticed John is the only one that could get away with wearing a frilly shirt and a velvet jacket? The only one that could carry it off. So anyway, he's got out. He's now going to free. He's going to. I think he's going to. I forgot what happens. What he does. He gets out anyway. He goes out. I think he's gone to find Arak and Tua. Elizabeth Sladen is in the Queen's parlour, and the Queen is making a deal with Elizabeth. And I think I know what that is. The Queen will jump on her back. And the point of this is it's to get her to get the crystal quicker, you know, because it's basically she's not helping her, she's using her. So Sarah agrees to go along with this to become sort of a sort of subservient to the Queen. The Queen will control her because she'll have a mind will not be strong enough to deal with the Queen's power. So she'll be like Lupton, the spider jumped on his back and took over control. So anyway, the Queen explains, "I see disaster for both our species, you on Earth and here on Metabilis 3." It's just a story she's telling. Because you can't trust a spider on your back. So anyway, I suppose in a way that kind of angle does look all right. It does look all right. It doesn't look forced, but it still shows a little bit too much. I mean, you know the legs are not real because they wobble as they go up. So it does. I mean, this is reflecting the times it was made. Right, the Doctor is now hiding behind a corridor because he's seen two guards coming. He sneaks back, has a look, and then he heads towards the next part. Oh, of course, yeah. He goes. He thinks he hears Sarah crying out for help in this cave, and it wasn't. It's a trick. It was the Great One itself. So this is where we see the Great One. We don't see the Great One, but we hear the Great One. This is the one when it's all building up to. We're back with Yates and Barnes discussing what they're going to do. Yates demands that he unties him because they both want what they want. He wants Lupton, he wants Sarah Jane back. So they agree to form the mandala again, and also try and do it the same way as Lupton did, to sort of draw whatever power it was. But it doesn't work, because what happens is they form a bridge between the spider attack, the soldiers that go first, to sort of because they needed a contact point. Like Lupton is now talking to the treacherous spider, he says, and he's trying to sort of form a plan. He says, I do not subscribe to two legs. My loyalty is with the four legs. And he says, you'll put my plan into action. No, I won't. And they start playing with his mind, that sort of pain that goes into his head. You will obey, you will obey, you will. He says, I will obey. Let your reward be to serve us furthermore until your usefulness is over with. So he's losing his temper with one of them. But then suddenly they all turn on him and get into his head. There you go, bang. So he's on the floor squealing, and now he is truly and utterly under their spell. He no longer has the control of this situation. So anyway, he mumbles, I will obey, I will obey. But unfortunately, now they're talking about the invasion of Earth. The crystal is just basically a red herring, because the real goal here is to invade Earth, take over the planet. The Doctor's just heard the scream from Sarah, as I said. He's gone running in the cave. Then we're back to Tommy, who's reading the book. Normally this time, he's not the self he was. He was this sort of type of retarded simpleton type of character, sort of a 5-year-old's mental age. But he's now so intelligent that he has become aware of the situation, and he decides to go to the abbot on Poche. So he goes to the abbot, comes out of his cupboard, and he overhears Yates and Barnes talking about trying to get Lupton back. So he stands there listening. And then he starts having his visions. He remembers Lupton materializing earlier. Remember in episode 2? And then he visualizes Sarah Jane, says, Lupton's gone down to the cellar. Lupton's gone down to the cellar. Lupton, it's a sort of still film where it just says, I don't know, just keeps on saying the same word over and over and over. So as we're seeing the visualization of Tommy looking at something he's caught in his time. And the last episode, he takes the blue crystal and he's hopping it to see the abbot. The abbot will know what to do. Will he? So he puts the crystal away in the first aid box. What a place to put it. And then he goes out the door. Right, now this is the point where we learn about the Great One. We don't see her, but we presume this is a most momentous moment for John Pertwee's Doctor, because she wants a crystal, the one perfect crystal that he stole remember when he was in the Green Death. He went to planet Metabilis 3 when there weren't no spiders, but he took the perfect crystal, which is what she wants, and she wants him to get it. And he says no. And then she says, you're a proud little man, and is that fear I see in your eyes? You're not accustomed to being frightened, are you, Doctor? So at that time, I thought it was pretty serious, because you always trusted this Doctor to be in control of the situation. But here, it seemed like he wasn't in control anymore, and you feared the worst. You knew what's coming next, that he would be sort of coming to the end of a confrontation. This would be his final confrontation. This is just where he is told what to go. I thought it was sort of strange seeing him being controlled, and then he had to go round. He says, round you go, Doctor. No, I will not. No. And you can see his leg stamping on the floor, trying to stop himself. And then and then he says, and then she says, go now, get me the perfect crystal, go now. So this is a bit where he goes round and round. You go, Doctor, round and round. No, I will not. And then suddenly you look at his eyes, because there's a close shot of his eyes, and it says, is that fear I see in your mind? You're not accustomed to being frightened of me, are you, Doctor? You'll be wise to be afraid of me. Something like that. I got it wrong, the line, by the way. I saw it the first time. Right, okay. And she says, go now, bring me the crystal, go now. And he starts running away. And and this was about facing his fear. This what this was all about in the end, facing his greatest fear. And now we're back to that scene's cut, and we're with Mike and all the other conspirators trying to locate where Lupton is, so they can pinpoint the focus of the force or energy to bring him back. But it won't work that way. What they do is they transport. They've made a teleport connection between this, where we're looking at the Spider Dome, and the soldiers that are ready, preparing for battle. So they're going to be jumping on their backs or zapping them with electric bolts or whatever. So here we go. So they're going ali 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 Right, so the spider's gone onto the mat or whatever it is, the focal point, and has now emerged, and it will emerge itself on the other end, which is in the cellar. They don't realise what damage, or shall I say, how dangerous the situation is now. It's not working, Mike Yates says, or one of them says, and Mike Yates says, keep going, keep going. Right, here we go. The spider has materialised, and it's not going to be seen this time. It's going to take them by surprise. So they're all going on now. There's a second one going, and that will materialise, and then eventually they will surround them, because they'll use them to get the crystal, apparently. Right, now we're here with Tommy and Joji, played by Kevin Lindsay, as you know, who played Lynx and the Lynx of Sontaran, and played Star as well in the Time. We played Lynx in the Time Warrior and played Styre in what's the other one? The 1975 one. I can't remember what it's called. The Sontaran Experiment. I do apologise. Sadly, just after that, Kevin Lindsay died of a heart attack. So it was a sad end for Kevin. But anyway, here he plays an annoying monk called Joji. He never gives you the answer. He always gives you sort of proverbs. So anyway, here he is. So Tommy goes up the stairs to the abbot, and Joji is going to the cellar to see what these naughty fellows are all about. John's just come through. The doctor has just come through the cave, and there's Joji now. He's just seeing them doing the meditation. He's saying, what are you doing? This is evil. And then suddenly this giant spider appears in front of him and zaps him with electric energy. The others start moving. Captain Mike Yates gets zapped as well. He's on the floor. And then these three, Barnes, Lands and Moss, are all cornered, and the spiders, you know, are going to jump on them at the backs, and they become their puppets to do what they want with. Sadly, Sarah has also allowed herself to be sort of taken over now, and so the Queen is on her back. That's how she's be able to make when she grabs the doctor's hand and says, grab my hand, we can get out of here. But how does she do it? You know, well, obviously there's other help that he doesn't know. Right, we've got a fight scene here. You got Tua helping his dad out of the cocoon while Arak fights with the guard. Then we return with Sarah and the doctor in the village where they've materialized, and then they head off to the TARDIS. the mother and daughter come out, say, where's my son and all that? How'd you get out and all that business? And Sarah says, it's all right. Everything's going to be okay. Come on, doctor. The key, Sarah, the key. And she says, it's all right. I've got it. So the doctor runs in, Sarah's in the TARDIS, and then they both materialize off. So they're heading off to get the blue crystal. Right, these four, Lands and Moss and the other guy, whatever, Barnes, are all controlled by the spiders now. They have been taken over, while Captain Yates and Joji are on the floor, unconscious. Sarah looks, and so does the doctor. Then suddenly they're surrounded by Barnes and his other three cohorts who are now possessed. And they're about to attack. They attack the doctor with bolts, but the doctor's got this stone that protects him, so he absorbs it all. And then Tommy comes down the stairs, throws one of them out of the way. This way, doctor, he says. He gets that, but it doesn't seem to affect him somehow. I don't know what protection he's got. He locks the door, and they start banging away to try and break the door down. And then he says, Tommy, Sarah says, Tommy, you're normal. And he says, you're like the rest. He says, I hope not. I thought that was quite a funny line, that. Anyway, where are you taking us? I'm taking you to see the abbot. Right, this is George McCormack sitting in his chair as the abbot and Poche. So they're going in. He's knocking on the door. The entrance. The abbot acknowledges the new guests. Tommy says, I will wait outside, Joji. Sorry, Abbott. He says, I will wait outside, says the abbot, Ron Poche, or whatever he is. I'll find out his proper character's name in the next one. All right, so I haven't got the facts on this one yet, but it's George McCormack. I know who that is. Right, okay then. But what we learn here is that the abbot of Ron Poche or whatever is actually a Time Lord himself, who's coming to the end of his regeneration, and he was actually the doctor's teacher. Now, remember, the doctor reminisced with Joe about this time when he was going through a bad period, and he went to this tree or whatever, and this guy was his teacher. But he's changed, obviously, so he doesn't recognize him at the moment. Then he says, the reconcile of old friends is hard to reconcile, something like that. And he realizes he knows who he is. It's his old teacher. So he's a Time Lord. So we're getting a lot of, shall I say, bombshells here thrown in. So we're seeing more about the doctor and the mystery of the man. But it's not ruining it like it did with, I don't know, Chris Chibnall, where he did The Timeless Child, and it sort of ruined it a bit because it gave too much away. I preferred the actual one with Sylvester McCoy, when Lady Penfold turns around to him and says, do you know who he is? Do you ever wonder where he come from? You know, and he says, no. He's the doctor. He says, I know who he is. I know what he's done. You know, she must have been talking about the Time War and other things like that. And this man is God. You know, that was the assumption you were left with. You didn't know who he was, but he's something more mysterious. Right, here we are. We're coming to the end of it. We got Moss, Land, and of course Barnes trying to get past the door because Tommy's guarding it. He's not letting them in because they obviously want the crystal. So anyway, they try to push him out of the way, and he throws him out of the way soon when he says, sorry, Mr. Barnes, and kicks him up the backside. Kill him. There you go. Bolts of lightning all over the place. There you go. But Tommy absorbs them. So that's the end. That's it. That's the end of part 5 of Planet of the Spiders. I'll be back for one more episode to finish off. And I'll have a bit of news for you about my new group coming out at the end of the final live stream. And also I'll be telling you about something else I wanted to tell you, but I'll wait till then. So anyway, I do appreciate you. Even though there's nobody watching me, I'll thank you for watching this later on, because obviously somebody will watch it. So thank you very much. Appreciate you having the endurance to watch this. Thank you for the new subscriber that has joined this channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do keep an eye on things. So anyway, I'll be back about roughly in about 20 minutes time for the final part of Planet of the Spiders. So thank you for watching. See you soon. Look after yourselves, and I'll be here back in 20 minutes. Bye for now.